Yeah, I'm not sure this is working, Dan. I still do not see it here on YouTube. Ah, right. Okay, now I think I see it. Excellent. Okay. Ah, right. Okay, now I think I see it. Excellent. Okay. All right, working. Okay, sorry about that, guys. And sorry for those that were waiting in YouTube and have been booted out. Please come back. We're here. Um, anyway, let's jump into the order flow and using Bookmap, understanding the auction process here. A few things beforehand, though. All these different sales and events that we're having here, end of the year, really great stuff. Here we go. So our Black Friday deal is over. If you did not take advantage of that, well, we still have our Cyber Monday deal, and that will end on Thursday, I believe. So 60% off of Global Plus. That's the deal. Is for the first month only. All right. So give it a shot. It's a great opportunity to kick the tires. See if you like Bookmap. And you missed the opportunity for the 3-month deal that actually included, it was 50% off and included data as well. Anyway, yeah, you can go to our bookmap.com website and you'll see the deal listed right there on the home page here, and the coupon code that you'll need to add into the deal. All right, so another event, it starts tomorrow. You have to register today, or before it starts tomorrow. Once the competition has started, you will not be able to register any longer. So go to the competition page and register. Let me show you where that is as well. You can go to competition.bookmap.com. It is here. And you can just click on the register button here. Now, I'll go through during this webinar how to register for it as well. We'll do it in a little bit. We're going to go through the order flow first. Now, one of the great things about this competition, well, first off, it's kind of odd. We're different this time. It's only for Bookmap paid subscribers. So get the deal if you want, and then enter the competition. So get the Cyber Monday deal, come into the competition, and what we're going to give you is free access to, for the competition, we'll give you free access to data as well as the MBO indicator bundle, which is Stops and Icebergs, Trader Map Pro, the whole Market Pulse Algo suite, and the liquidity tracker. This is a great opportunity to kick the tires, see if you like this indicator package here. We think it is one of the best out there. It is pretty powerful stuff, and it is showing data or order flow that you just can't see any other way. And that's due to the market by order data, the MBO data. Yeah, sign up. You can use your phone, the QR code to register, and once you're in, you're in. And take advantage of it, and get free access to some of these tools. And then we are going through this content for the entire week here on the market by order indicator package, so that you can understand how to read it and how to use it. Yeah, I'm going to go through quite a bit today, and also tomorrow, and I'll also have a presentation on exactly what is market by order data. Okay, so good stuff there. Let me go through the disclosures, and then we'll jump into the order flow. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. I just was attending Charles's webinar from Pirate Traders, and they're market profile traders, volume profile traders, and they were giving their kind of overview of the day. Great stuff. He also had a guest on, Lady D, and she also is a market profile trader. And they were looking for a very choppy day today. So let's look at the bigger picture here, and then we'll talk about that. And we're going to be looking at like the daily chart here. We're just going to look at simple candlesticks because all of that. If you're looking at these market profile packages, they're quite expensive, and there's a lot of things that and they're fantastic. It's great. It's a great way of trading. Nothing against it, but it's a little expensive sometimes. So we're just going to look at simple candlesticks, and we're going to derive a lot of the same ideas just by understanding the price action in the candles. So we're in an inside day today. You can clearly see on the daily here, and then on the hourly here, you can also see that we're kind of just chopping around in here. 15-minute chart shows it the best. And look at this though. We actually, it was kind of funny to watch the previous webinar. I think we're going to break this now, and I'm looking for traders to break down and maybe trade back down into these lower levels here. Now we'll see, right? And we'll look at Bookmap right now to see that. And why do I think that? Is because we've come down here, we tested it, we bounced, and we kind of went back and forth, and we're back down here again. And look at the size of the candles in here. This is the price action trading I'm talking about. Okay, so we're getting a bit of a bounce. Actually, we're finding buyers down here again. All right, so now if we find enough buyers in here, then I would look for this actually to reject and then come back up, not only into the mean or like kind of average or high volume node in here someplace, but maybe to the other side as well. Okay, but let's take a look at this here, because I can see it's kind of a battle back and forth in here, and this is where you're going to really see the difference and be able to extrapolate what's behind these candles in terms of transactions and limit buy and sell orders, supply and demand. All right, so let's take a look. Now I'm going to look at the the ES here, and we'll take a look. All right, so I actually this is another one that I'm looking at. Trader Map Lite is actually free with Bookmap, but the Trader Map Pro, if you guys want to try that, that will be part of that MBO bundle that you get for free during the competition. Okay, so again, just go to competition.bookmap.com if you're interested in that. All right, let me see if I have any questions here. Hey, good morning, everybody. Shark, Steven, Alan, Rob, Alois, Dan, and how's everything over here on? Okay, and we're good over here on YouTube. No questions. Okay, great. All right. Well, this was a similar. Look at this offer here. In similar analysis from Charles's webinar. I mean, the order flow is telling us something. Look at this offer here. Okay, there's a lot on the offer. Now, I'm going to take a position in here. Now, again, this is not a trading room in here, but we're looking for opportunities, right? So in fact, I'm going to take a couple, and then I'm going to get one down here, just to reduce a little bit of risk, because this looks to me like it's high probability. Okay, here's why. You can see the chop here at 9:30. Okay, and back and forth in here, but look at the offer in here, and this is what we saw during Charles's webinar as well. Okay, there's a lot of sellers on the offer, and we bounced around in here. Now we found sellers again. They took it to a slightly lower low here. We bounced around again, but look how much we bounced back up. and we're still finding sellers here, okay, I'm looking for them to trade lower. All right, I'm looking for, reducing some risk here, and then let's see if we can get maybe a runner out of it. All right, so now we're trading lower. We're just about at our first take profit, which is, this is only an example here, going through and understanding the order flow, and that's all I'm trying to do here. This is not really this is not a trade to emulate. All right, but it is going well. If you like to scalp, it's still not a trade to emulate. This is not a trading room. However, you can take some of these ideas and then do your back testing and due diligence. Right, so look to see if this is something that works out for you. Now, I'll go through the potential setup in this again here. All right, what are we looking for and why? Because this was choppy here, we're going back and forth in here, but look at the supply here. And now there's some demand in here, right? So we kind of bounced around a little bit here, but what we're looking for is, first off, we had a lot of supply up here in terms of limit sell orders. We have some demand in here. It trades, and look at the demand after that. Okay, these aggressive buyers here, we're not talking about the limit orders here. We're talking about the market buy orders in here. This is the only interest that they showed. In fact, not only did they not show much interest here, look at the size and color of these dots in here. There's not a lot going on here, but look at the offer as well. There's more on the offer in these areas as well, okay, at a lower level. Okay, so we're looking for price to go down. Now, we had tested here a few times already from the cash open. Okay, here's one test, the chop. Here's the other test, the move back up, and we come back down again. Great. Okay, looking for the follow through. So we took the edge there, and took some off. And now look at the buyers come back in. Okay, so they're probably going to try to reach back into some sort of mean or average. Okay, in this case, we can look at, well, we can also put the VWAP on here. Hold on a minute. Or I'm going to go with the anchored VWAP. Okay. Here's my anchored VWAP. There it is. Okay. And let's see. Do I have my anchored VWAP in here? I haven't looked at this in quite a while. So this should be my regular VWAP in here. Yeah. I'm going to turn that white, actually. And we can add another one in here as well, but we'll just keep this VWAP on here for now. And that kind of coincides here with a high volume node. Or look at your profile in here, just meaning that all of this chop in here means that this was where most traded, in this little range in here. Okay, now let's take a look. And Rob, this is something to consider. Rob, I know that you've been looking at your continuation patterns or impulse moves. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Is this an impulse move? Hell yeah, it is. Look at the size of the volume coming in. Okay, it is big volume. It is moving away from this area in here. Okay, so now, and we already had a few pullbacks in here. Okay? We have already traded into high liquidity as well. Now we need to see more sellers come back in, and not buyers. We're not looking for that mean reversion. we're looking for more sellers to come in. Okay, we know there's quite a few sellers here. We don't want to see them get upended, and then if we get back up above here, then we can have a really good short squeeze. I'm still looking for more sellers to come in here and to move this lower, right? So this is because of all of this selling in here and in here, and that's it. Okay, so that's all we're looking for. If we see something different, then we'll manage the trade and do something different. Okay. All right. So let's see here if there's any questions off of that. What does it mean when a red is hitting the ask? Okay. So yeah, this is you might have your volume dots. Maybe explain some of the volume dots in here, and that might make some good sense. And maybe you're looking at you're looking at the S&P. Okay, but let's just go to the volume dot settings. I'll right click in here and go to the volume dot settings here, and here we go. Okay, so what does it mean? Like if a red dot is hitting the ask? Well, first off, what we're looking at here in terms of the volume dot display is the volume delta. It's buy minus sell. Okay, so there could be more sellers. In fact, we're trying to put this video together for you guys. We had a good example like a month or two ago on how the price went up on more selling. Okay, and this actually fits nicely into what we want to go over today for the competition, is more about the icebergs and the stops in the MBO data. Okay, so this delta here, well, maybe try total volume, and you'll see buying and selling, all of it, every single bit of it, and you might want to even take clustering off. And if you really want to see everything, and then if you have any numbers in here for minimum displayed volume and minimum trade size, bring it down to 1. Okay, and then you're going to see every single transaction in here. That's where you can get into the details, because it is not possible for more selling to selling to lift the offer. Okay. So it's just not. So you'll once you have the details in here, you can really zoom in and check it out. Okay, so just know what Bookmap is doing. You can display all of the volume in here if you want. That's what I'm trying to get at. But here we're looking at sorry. Here we're looking at volume delta, buy minus sell. And it's also clustered, okay? Which means that some of it will be kind of drawn to another area in here, kind of like water droplets. Basically, the bigger drop has a little more kind of gravity, and more selling will come to it. Or more volume will come to it, basically, right? So anyway, you can play around with the slider in here as well. To minimize or maximize whatever you want to look at, right? So that should answer your question, I hope. Okay, all right, guys. So anyway, let's take a look at this and our trade idea in here. Okay, yes, so far so good on the continuation pattern. Okay, now what was it in here, or this impulse move, I should say, that gave us this insight? And it is this volume in here. Well, we actually have quite a bit telling us what's happening here. First off, look at this. We're below the 6100 figure. Look at all of this. Now this is bigger, a little bit bigger picture. Look at all of this limit sell orders up in here. A lot of supply below the swing high. It's below the swing high. There is a lot of pressure in here on the sell side, a lot of supply. We kind of went back and forth in here, but there's more supply here. And then we see these sellers pick up and we retest again. So we saw this test here. We're like, wow, okay, here's the pullback. And then this is by the time this came around, we were just getting into the webinar here. In fact, I'm going to move my target down a bit more here and try to get a little more out of this. Now it's going to be a stop run here. So and it is, you can see it here, the red dots, or this 70, 45, and 72 here. Okay, so maybe that's capitulation. We need to kind of look at our higher time frames, but I am front running high liquidity down here, thinking that if sellers want to meet the buyers, they are down here. Okay, I'm not looking for buyers to jump in here right now out of the blue. They're probably stepping back and then saying, I do not want to tangle with this. I tried up here. I tried a mean reversion trade. It didn't work. I'm stopped out. I had to sell it to get out of that trade. Now we're starting to maybe find a few buyers that are also going to get stopped out. Or, maybe it's some profit taking in here. We don't know. But we just know there's still more sellers, right? Okay. You see if there's any questions. And Rob, especially for you, I mean, we trying to call this out in real time here, to look at and understand impulse moves and what they look like when they're starting to unfold. So if you see a large red bubble hit the ask, is that a buyer? No, it's not. Yeah, it would be a large green dot that lifts the offer and trades with the seller on the offer. All right, so yeah, we're getting another stop run down here. Now, look, where do we think this is going? Well, we think the liquidity here, and let's see what the reaction is down here. Okay, so it just traded into it, and we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce. I'm actually just going to bail on that because we traded into high liquidity. I'm still looking for it to trade into 80, but that's okay for me. I do not want to sit through a potential pullback in here. All right. So now I probably could have stayed in this longer. I didn't look at my higher time frame. Okay, but let's take a look now. This is the impulse move here. Okay, this is what it looks like here in Bookmap. All right, and this was, I think, pretty well telegraphed for us. I don't know how you guys feel, but we're below the figure, we're below the swing up here, and look at all of that supply here. Okay? And then more supply by the aggressors hitting into high liquidity in these areas. And we see, maybe buyers struggling to try to lift this higher, and then they just can't. They just can't. So look at, this is what we saw earlier, Rob. And I just, it's a good example, and we've seen it in real time. Okay, and the example is, look at the bars, look at the size of the dots. We've got really nice context in this sense. It would have been better if these guys didn't trade or didn't show up here, and maybe they were a little bit lower as well. That would be a little bit better, but this isn't bad at all. We have massive supply up here, below the swing, below the figure, and then we retested again in here. That's when we got in, and then we kind of reduced some risk pretty quickly, and then held. for a runner. Okay, but this is a good example, and we saw it in real time, right? All right, so now here, let's go back to our candlestick chart. Let's go back to our some of our levels in here. And we should have done this a little bit earlier. The bigger picture, well, it's the swing here, 83. And then look at these buyers that came in down here. Now, obviously, we see the move here and the swing here on the 15-minute chart from last, well, on the 3rd, you can see. So, and the buyers came in these areas in here, and then clearly above in here as well. Another kind of impulse move to the upside here, away from all of this in here. Anyway, down to the swings, stop some people out. Maybe we're going to find some buyers in these areas here. That's what I'm trying to cover, and say that this in here. Oh, it's a whole zone, but in here we found buyers previously here, right? And even in here, on this candle in here, and we see the gap up. Okay, so that's a good area to take some profit, and we captured a nice move to the downside. Now we might get a pretty big pullback. The pullback might come back up to where it just dropped from up here. Okay. This is something to continue with your studies as well, because it was really great to be in Charles's Pirate Traders video and listen to, or stream, and listen to the volume profile traders. What they're looking at in this trader. I've never heard of her before, Lady D, but seems like a very, very competent trader as well. As Charles. So they know what they're looking for, and they're looking for their specific setups, and how it relates in the visualization with the market profile. Right. So this is what we're looking for on this move down. Now, this is something that you need to go back and test and look at, because look at this pullback right now. Okay, this is what I wanted to cover here, was the when you see a big impulse move like this, it's usually a tremendous amount of volume that moves the market away from this whole area up here. Okay, all this chop back and forth. All right, so will we get a pullback all the way back up here? Maybe. Maybe we find a lot of interest in buyers in these areas in here. Okay. However, that's something to study, because a lot of times what we see on these kinds of pullbacks is something like what it's doing right now. You will not get a pullback all the way to here unless you get some sort of reversal type of pattern on a smaller time frame. Typically, this is very, very typical. In fact, look where it dropped here, and look where we have retested in here. Okay, so this becomes the new profile in here, basically, or the new chop zone in here. Okay, now what are we seeing again in here? More liquidity on the offer here. Okay, more sellers here. We can take another shot at it here just to trade it back down into this liquidity here. Okay, I'm seeing more sellers. I'm seeing more sellers on the offer. We never know. There could be a tremendous amount of buying that will come in right above here in this 82 area. But right now, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for sellers to hit into this 80 liquidity here. Okay, and I just sold the bottom of the range, basically. Okay, I'm still looking for it to squeeze, though, just based off of what we talked about. Right now, maybe this turns into a range bound trade, though. Maybe it has to go back and forth here for a bit. and maybe it comes back up into this area here. We don't know. But what we do know was there's more selling, more supply here, and we're still seeing more selling here by the aggressor. So the buyers are down lower here at 80.78. And boy, like I said, this is not a trading room, guys, but I do want to show how to trade from Bookmap in the chart here, and how to manage your trades as well, potentially. Okay, and notice how like I can front run high liquidity here at 80, one tick in front of it. This is a tremendous edge for your trading. So you know, instead of just blindly looking at candlestick charts, saying like I want to be a buyer here or a seller up here, I mean, you're just looking at price action. Really, that's it. You don't have any other insight in here. All right. Overnight, we're below overnight low and yesterday's low. Okay, so again, then we're looking for this big volume to come in, right? That is, it's probably because we're below that, that we're probably going to find maybe some buying interest in a bit. You know, trying to buy it and trade it back into some sort of average. Okay, but we're not seeing it yet. Okay, we're just not seeing it yet. We're seeing more sellers still. At a certain point, we will find buyers. It just, we need to get down to, well, we found some here at 80 actually. We found some here up at 80, 88. We found some here at 85. Okay, so they're on the bid in some of these areas here. Is this making sense? Like trying to be really clear in understanding the context between buyers and sellers. Okay, Al3X, you've got a bunch of questions. And Familiar Trader, well, welcome you guys. It's good to see you in here. You're new, I know, to the room. So you're in the right place though. This is the All Markets webinar. We're creating kind of an order flow foundation for you in here. And I may even rename it something like that for you guys, so that it's clear. And also Nate. Yeah, Bookmap gets expensive. Well, I mean, that indicator bundle is pretty unique, Nate. That's you know, something that you might want to explore for free during this competition. And like I said, though, that I don't even like to call it an indicator because it's not some sort of derivative of time or price. It is showing you not just order flow, it's showing you the order types that are transacting in the order flow. Okay, 298 contracts here were stops. These transactions here, we can zoom in and look at it here. 177, 23, 98. Okay. So, and we're looking at iceberg orders here too. 147 on the offer here. 250 on the offer, fully executed here. The E means executed. 44 executed here. So what is iceberg orders in here? In fact, we may have to I may have to deviate today and tomorrow in the in these webinars and talk about market by order data, right? And what exactly is it and how to read it, okay, in Bookmap. No problem, Al3X. Yeah, explain it like you're a fourth grader. No problem. You know, I actually, I would really suggest that you go to bookmap.com and then click on education here. Okay, and then watch this course here. Now, the Getting Started course here, This is about how to use Bookmap, how to get up and running, the platform, connecting data, adding symbols. Trading from the chart is down here. You will need to know how to do this for the competition. So go through these videos in here. All these videos are very short, just a couple minutes. Okay, but that's will give you a good overview of the software and how to use it. Now, the market mechanics course here. This is what I recommend you go through and start to understand. And we kind of boiled it down into try to make it as simple as possible. So that you can understand in a diagram form, like what's happening here with the best bid and offer, a spread. This would be your order book here. Okay, so, and this would show a skew on the order book, just like today. There's a skew. There's more supply on the offer. There's more sellers wanting to sell up at these levels in here, right? And there's not so many buyers. So these are the aggressors in here, the dots, and they are able to hit the bid and take liquidity off of the best bid here. Okay, so this is basic market mechanics, and it is really essential to understand. So I would highly recommend that you go through this, start with this one at least, okay, and watch start with the part 1 of the course. Okay, there's 4 parts to it here. This is an hour and 10 minutes long, right? But it's well worth it. You can watch it in 2x speed if you like, anyway, that will give you a really good overview of how these markets work, and then you'll understand what Bookmap is. Okay. Yeah. So okay. So first off, let's the bigger step back. In fact, there's a whole nother video in here in the Getting Started course that I also recommend here if you're new to Bookmap, and it's called the overview of Bookmap here. There's only 3 elements on the Bookmap chart, and understand what they are. Okay, so we'll do it here right now. This is a 2.5 minute long video, but the 3 elements on this chart. Okay, let's keep it really simple here. One is the heat map. Okay, let's take it off. The other one here, we're going to leave stops and icebergs on for a minute here, and just don't look at them at the moment. We're going to take off the volume dots and bars in here. This is just streaming best bid and offer. That's all it is. Okay, the red line is the best offer, the green line is the best bid. Okay, so we're only looking at one element on the chart right now. Okay, in fact, we can even add candlesticks. We can even take the best bid and offer off and look at candles, okay, in Bookmap. You know what a candle is, and this is a 15-minute candle. Okay, zoom out and see more here. Yeah, open, high, low, and close is what you're getting with your candle. You're not getting much out of it. That's the problem here with candlesticks. And you don't know where that volume is transacting. So let's start adding these things on there. Okay, and you don't know about the price action for the last 15 minutes either. Of course, you'd know more if you saw 5 minutes, but it's still aggregated data within 5 minutes. Okay, so anyway, let's look at best bid and offer. Here's the price action. Here, the price action of this candle here, well, we kind of broke down, went sideways for a bit, broke down a little sideways, broke down, and then popped back up a little bit. That's how this candle, these open, high, low, and close points showed up on the candle. Okay, for between this period here to here of 15 minutes. That's the price action. Now we can look at what's happening in that price action with the volume dots. Okay, and we'll add bars in the subchart too. What kind of volume was trading in here? Clearly, lots of selling. Okay, a little bit of buying up in here. Now this is, again, these are volume delta dots. There's buying in here as well, but the vast majority of it is selling. All right, and that's it. So now there's one more element missing here on the Bookmap chart, and that is the heat map. And the heat map is the one that throws everyone for a loop in here, because they've never really had access to too much of this information. The heat map is only showing you the other side of the trade. It's showing you the limit buy and sell orders, not the market buy and sell orders. Okay, so we know like transactions are taking place here between buyers and sellers, right in here. Okay, and also down here. So now the heat map is all derived from your order book. Okay, this is the column here, your current order book. This is your DOM, your depth of market, or your level 2, whatever you want to call it. What we're showing in here, these numerical values, are contracts. These are sellers. They want to be sellers at these price levels up here with limit sell orders. And they want to be buyers down here with limit buy order. And that's all it is. But you can see a histogram in here along with the number. Okay. So that should be pretty clear, right? Now, all we do in Bookmap is we take these numerical values, and in this current market window here, with just to the right of this little vertical white line there, we we take the these contracts in here and we visualize them in a heat map form, colored heat map. Okay, so now we know that there's buyers here, and they just added more into the bid here. Okay, down at 73 and a quarter. That's it. That's all it is. See the striations in here in the color? So what were they doing in here? Well, we see that we kind of went back and forth, and in terms of the color, they were adding more liquidity because the scale of the heat maps up here in the top center of the chart, red and orange, very high liquidity, then yellow, white, blue, and black is the least amount. That's all it is. Okay, so this is not it's actually very, very simple. It's not complex whatsoever. It just looks like it might be kind of complex. It is not. It's very simple. Okay, all three elements on this chart are extremely simple. That's kind of the funny thing. It's kind of ironic. It looks like it's very complex. It is not. Candlestick charts with a few indicators are way more complex, way more, because these are derivatives of that time, price, and volume. Okay, so in Bookmap, we don't have to have a derivative of it. Okay, we can show it all. So now we're going to go over stops and icebergs and what they are, and we can talk about the market by order data as well. Okay. All right. Now, see, and it's really about this context in here that you see again and again. So, this context between the buyers and the sellers. So here are some buyers here in the order book. Here are some sellers up here. Okay. In the limit order book. And now this is the historical book though, right? This is what was there and is not there now. Some of it just transacted. Okay? So, but this is the context that we're talking about, is look at them lift the or the bid in here. There's more on the bid at a higher level, but what was the context? The context was we found buyers. Okay? And the buyers traded up here into these sellers up in here, this supply. Okay? And now we're rotating back down. So are we finding enough buyers now? Are we going to get a reversal? Okay? Well, we don't know yet. It's starting to shape up though. Okay? So we know that there is buyers in these levels in here, and we know they transacted because we can see the red dots trade into them. And there's a lot down here also at this 70 level. Let me see if there's any questions on this. Okay, you're looking at the NQ, Stephen. All right. My favorite setting on TraderMap Pro is I just kind of keep it at the default, to be honest. I've got Trader Map Pro over here. Let me see what I have in here, actually, because I've been demoing quite a bit. Here it is. Have here bot remove. Okay, so yeah, you can see I did raise it up in here. You can see it here, Stephen. Okay, so this is a little more extreme, more of a filter. So let's zoom in here. Yeah, and you can see it really filters out quite a bit. It looks quite a bit different, right, than the free version here. Now let's go over the free version settings here. Okay, again, we are able to do this because it is market by order data, and I have it on the standard filter number 1 here, in the free version here. Well, all you have to do, well, Stephen, then this is your opportunity as well, to play around with it, Trader Map Pro, during the competition. Yeah, so the slider allows you, more than 3 settings basically. So you can really kind of go extreme or not. Okay, so look at this little cluster of buying in here. We thought, well, maybe it's a reversal, Well, look at now the sellers coming in. Now, this is where we can get a long squeeze. Anyone who bought in here, if they're not going to support it in here, we're looking for this to squeeze again back down to here, and we're looking for a nice big stop run here to the downside. Okay, so are we still getting sellers? Yep, we are. So let's see if we can get these sellers to trade into this high liquidity here. Got a pullback already. Okay, and yeah, let's see it here. We're going to see if we can get maybe a little bit of a pullback here. All right, so I'm going to look for probably a bigger pullback on this one. But let's see here, because it's only pulled back to this little range in here. Okay. In fact, I think I'm going to put a buy or a sell stop in here, just in case, because we might get a sweep right through it. Okay. Actually, I would look for a bit of a bigger pullback in here, to be honest, on this. Why is that? Well, because now we're starting to find some buyers now, right? So I'm glad I did not go short in here. We got a bigger pullback. Okay, so now I am looking though for these sellers to come back in, and I'm looking for them to trade now through this, and I'll be a seller along with them. There we go. Now I'm looking though for not buyers here. Now I kind of got caught in this here. I might become squeezed. Okay, but I'm looking for the yeah, it looks like I'm going to be squeezed here. Okay, this is how you can get caught up in squeezes. Exactly. So now let's see what happens at the top edge here of this area. We're going to get, we've come up here a few different times and we're finding buyers. So likely I'm going to get stopped out here. And we'll probably trade up into 77-ish area up in here, something like that. Okay, we'll see. Right? So now this is a takeaway from here. Now I was really looking for the selling to really pick up here. Now I kind of assumed that would happen in here, and let's just zoom in. This is what happened. Very, very few sellers down here, the opposite of what I was actually looking for. Now we still may find them though, if we can come back down here and the buyers dry up. They do not support it here, do not find a bid, and then we look for the sellers to flush through these areas in here. Okay, so it still might work out here. I thought for sure I'd get stopped out on this, but I think we're still in the game here. All right, so now again we're looking for no buyers here. We'll see though, because maybe they'll support it, maybe they'll come in. Now these buyers in here, if they're new to the market, they're going to feel the squeeze to the downside. Okay, so Again, it's just this context between buyers and sellers over and over and over again. Okay, so selling picking up. Okay, all right. Now, if we don't get, we might get a battle in here at this one. This one's different, and it's not as easy to trade as it was earlier because now we're seeing buyers and sellers come in here. Okay, someone's going to get it wrong though, and they're going to get squeezed, and we'll see the stop run. All right. So I'm still giving the nod here to the sellers, but let's see. We got to see the sellers pick up down here. All right, and then we'll go over we'll talk more about the MBO bundle and indicators here, and what exactly is MBO data. And I also want to get you guys connected here for the competition. So see how there's a, you know, it's really kind of back and forth in here right now. It's different. Everything's a little different now. It's because of these buyers that came in. Okay? So it's back and forth, buyers and sellers. The trend is down, no question. In fact, we made a lower low here. We made kind of an equal high here. So in terms of structure, I'd still say, like, you know, sell side. It's just what we really need to see is the sellers down below in this area here around 72. Okay, if we get that, we should get the move lower. Okay, more on the offer here, so it's starting to look pretty good. Okay, more supply up in here on the offer. Now, our context, more supply up here, but do we find the aggressive sellers in here? Okay, repelling the buyers, they're not interested. Yeah, we're starting to find our sellers here. Okay, now we have the opportunity for that flush through. And we came down here. We didn't quite get too many sellers down here, and that's exactly what we need. Okay, buyers are starting to still nibbling away and up in here, right? This has turned into that trending move into sideways market here. Okay, so now let's see if all these buyers in here now, they're going to be shaking in their boots right around this 72 level. Okay, and we're starting to see the selling coming in, but now we're starting to see buyers come in. So a little bit of a battle in here right now. And let's see it, sellers. Let's see it finally push through here and try to find these buyers down on the bid down here. There's a little bit of a telltale here. Some exhaustion on the swing back up. No buyers. Okay, more sellers again. More sellers again. Okay, so buyers still fighting it here. Still fighting it. Now they couldn't get traction here, so I'm looking again for sellers down here, and then the squeeze. Okay, so it's starting to. Let's see a cascading stop run here if we can get that. No, buyers still fighting it here. Yep. All right, so now we're the small fish getting eaten here. We're going to get stopped out here. Okay, pretty certain of it. Pretty certain, right? So this selling in here failed to go lower, and we got a lot more buying now. This is how reversals start to unfold. Let's take a look at our bigger picture here. Well, here's what's going on. We're down at this swing and we're finding buyers below that little swing in here. It makes good sense, you know, or we're going to find enough sellers in here, try to fill the gap here, right down to this 15-minute chart, you know, in here. I kind of like the idea of this gap fill. This is a lot of momentum here, as we saw earlier. Yeah, now look at this battle. This is a great battle. It's a good example here of this back and forth in here, right? I thought for sure we get stopped out here or here. I thought for sure in here we had enough sellers to drop it. Okay, now we do. Now the only way that we can counter that, buyers can counter this, is on a tremendous amount of buying. Okay, else this is looking pretty good that, you know, we're going to see a nice big stop run here. Here's 191 here. We're going to see more though. It's 33. Now I'm really looking for it. Okay, so there's 163. Okay, so we got filled now, and there's 420 contracts here on the bid. Let's see, they should transact. There they go. They just transacted. All right, now there's still more selling, a little bit more below it, and we should be able to hit the 68 as well. Okay. All right, and where's our gap fill here? Full gap fill would be around this 67.50. So yeah, we're just about to fill it. Hey, let me reach out back to the familiar trader, Al3X, and Nate, and anyone else new in here. Is this helping? Do you have questions? How can we make this clearer for you? Okay, let me also go over to YouTube. Guys in YouTube, yeah, Tesla pure selling. Okay, Teague. Yeah, so Tesla's dropping like a rock, sounds like. Well, we can take a look at that as well. Freed Fertig, yeah, we do have a footprint chart also in Bookmap. It's a little different than other footprint charts, but yeah, we do have something. Oh, do you want the numbers on here on the volume dots? Yeah, we don't have that. But this is the way you can get it actually, is you can hover over each dot in here and use the tooltip here, right? And it'll tell you. So here you can see the fourth line. It says volume of 903. Okay, so that's how. Now what you can do though is see it's mostly graphical representation here in Bookmap. The heat map is graphical representation as well. So what does this red represent here? Well, 592 contracts if I hover over it. So what about this orange down here? Well, that would be 214 contracts. Or this kind of orangish yellow, it's 196 contracts. That's how it works. Okay, now watch this though. So now this cannot change, right? We know that this is what was there. It's all historical. It's baked in. But if I zoom vertically, we're going to see a little different view. Maybe it won't be as red anymore. But in this case, it kind of still is the same. But you'll see the heat map change a little bit in color because it then scales it graphically to what else is in the viewable chart here. Okay, so that's how it works. And also for the volume dots, like you'll see like this was the biggest dot here. And then you'll start to look at these other areas and start to understand, okay, well, this is probably, like 150, or, you can see 117. This is probably about 150. No, it's 200, right? So, you have this kind of representation of it. We do have a footprint chart that will show the transactions in the subchart and also on chart here. Okay, more selling still coming in. So 166, 204 stops, 69 here. We should get some pretty nice stop runs in here. They have been pretty good. We're actually looking for it to really pick up in here, and it did. 382. Here's 360 over here on another big one. And then 204. And then we're still making going lower, and we're still hitting some stops in here. Now these are stop transactions. Okay, we don't know if it might be a sell stop like we did to enter. Okay, we don't know if if they're entering or exiting. We just know that it was a stop transaction. The order type was a stop. Okay, that's the same with the icebergs. Actually, we don't know if they're entering or exiting. We just know that they were on the bid and they bought here, for example, 100. These were not in the order book. Well, pieces of it were, but it was a hidden order type that transacted fully, executed for 100. Here's an iceberg up here. Only one contract has executed, and it's still in the live market up here at 75. Hey, pretty cool stuff. Here's that one transaction up in here. There's another iceberg up here for 68. All right, guys, let me show you how to get connected for this competition. It's important because if you want to partake in the competition, first go to competition.bookmap.com and click on register here, or register today, and then you'll have to be a Bookmap subscriber, right? So a paid subscriber. So if you want to partake, well, then just go with that 60% off of the Cyber Monday deal, and then you can come right in and partake in it. And then what 40 bucks, 39 bucks. The data will be free for it as well, right? So yeah, if you're interested in partaking, and then you'll get access to the stops and icebergs in here to play around with in the competition. All right, so anyway, that's how you'll log in. You will need to already have your subscription. All right, and then once you log in, there's videos in here that go through this whole process here. You'll see there's 3 videos that we have, and this last one here shows you how to trade from Bookmap. All right, yeah, once you are connected, once you download and install Bookmap, you'll need to make some connections in here, and you'll need to go to connections and configure them. Let's see here. Let's go to connections here, go to configure. and then you add a connection in here, or add or remove a platform. Here, the videos will go through all of this and hold your hand through the entire process. I'm kind of going through it very briefly. You will need to connect to Bookmap data, okay, and for futures if you don't have it, or you can use Rhythmic as well. But you can see it here, Rhythmic or Bookmap data here. I'm also connected to Rhythmic at the same time. Okay, so you can also connect to Rhythmic. Now another one you're going to need is this one here called Trading Simulator. If you don't have it already, you'll see it down here below and available for install. Okay, and then you click install, and then you click OK, and then you'll add a connection in here, and then from the drop down you'll see your Bookmap data. We'll connect to it, and you'll also come down here to your trading simulator. You'll connect to it, and then you'll click OK, and then you'll need to come up here and put a check mark in each of them here, and then enter a symbol. Okay. When you're connecting to the trading simulator, you'll have the option here. Actually, let's do it. So come in here and let's go to configure. Here's the configure for it, for trading simulator. Click on it here. Click on, like I showed you, trading simulator from the drop down here, and then here is when you go from demo to competition. Okay, there's a demo account in here through the trading simulator, but you want to use competition, and then you'll click OK. All right, I believe you can connect already to it, and now we need to come back here and select it. Okay, so now we've selected it, and then you'll see under the drop down in here, when you open up the trade control panel in Bookmap and turn it on, then in here on your drop down you'll see here, this is your for the ES, your futures competition, and you'll select that, and now you're trading from this ES chart here in TraderMap Lite into it'll be the competition. It says Rhythmic there. That's not correct, but okay. All right, so now I'm connected, and if you can see it here, and if you want to exit it, you press on stop, and then that's it. And you can see here's my amount here actually. So I have $100,000 in here. Now let's select both. I'll click on the pin, and then I can use bracketed orders, trailing stops, OCOs, etc. Select the volume you want to trade, and set your trailing stop or your take profit stop loss, and you're good to go. Okay. Now if I trade from the chart here, this will show up in my balance here for the competition. Okay, it says the competition here will start in 22 hours. All right, let's look at what's happening in Bookmap now. Now we just breached a slightly higher high here, and our buyers are starting to come in. Okay, we just bounced off of here where we broke out from here, and we're finding buyers in here. So now I'm looking again for context in here. Okay, are there buyers on the bid? Yeah, there are. They're in here. Okay, well, then I'll be a buyer here. I'll set my limit buy order here. And we'll see. See if we get filled. Okay. Now let's take a look at this in here. What's going on? We're still in a downtrend, clearly. But you can see we're starting to break that downtrend as well. These test some areas of it. It's the extreme downtrend. Okay. Now, do I want to be a buyer here, or do I want to be a buyer down here is the big question. Okay, you can just left click, hold, and drag these around wherever you want to get filled. Okay, any questions on the competition? No? Guys, take advantage of it, really. Jump in here. Alan, you're looking for your short squeeze right now? Yeah. Maybe. I mean, this is, they're bidding up in these areas in here, and we know that lots have been filled on the bid on the way down. Now we're starting to find aggressors. Okay, so this might be the potential reversal. This might turn into a potential flag pattern in here. Move up, sideways action, more aggressive buyers, and then a measured move probably back up to this 75 or 72 level here. And that was our bigger trend line here. Did we fill the gap? Yes, we did. Okay. Okay, well, we're missing this one. Okay, we didn't get filled. We're left hanging here. And that's what we decided to do. Yeah, Sam, the stops and icebergs we can explain in detail. I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow. So the first thing first is like sign up, register for this competition. Make sure that you can get connected. I can answer your questions now about that. And then we can go over in detail tomorrow the stops and icebergs. Guys, this is pretty classic order flow stuff, right? I mean, this is kind of what we were looking for here in terms of the buyers starting to come in after a gap fill, after trading into high liquidity all the way down here. Okay, and then again, this shift between aggressors in here. See the sell volume in here? The big dots, now green dots, making higher highs, trading up into higher liquidity up in these areas in here. You will see the same thing again from that learning center. If you go to strategies and setups here, we only have a few in here, but let me show you one for reversal. Click on it here, and we put it in a diagram form. Head and shoulders reversal, but it doesn't really matter. It's all the same stuff. You'll just see this is a shift and a change in the order flow. This is exactly like right now. Okay, high liquidity on the bid, have massive selling, trading into it, a little bit of a bounce, but no buyers or very little. Again, massive selling into high liquidity. Now we're starting to find some buying interest here. Okay, and then still more selling though, trades into high liquidity, makes a lower low, come back up, finding, now we're starting to find more buyers than previously. Now we get a pullback here, and we see very little selling here, okay, compared to all the selling we saw previously. And now we start to rotate back up and we find even more buyers. Okay, this is where you can look for that move back up to the top of the range. This we kind of put this together to show a very simple, because reversals can be rather tricky. So we want to make sure that we take care of take some profit here and then hold, and then what we can do, you can look for your measured moves in here, is we can start to look for a potential continuation pattern out of that reversal. So you can take some off and then get back in someplace, maybe in here, looking for that continuation pattern now. Head and shoulder reversal. Right. So anyway, now are we starting to see that in here? Maybe. I mean, we definitely see the first parts of it. Massive selling into high liquidity on the bid. Okay, buyers. Okay? And we don't really see a head and shoulders per se in here, or inverse head and shoulders. We kind of see more like kind of 3 hits to the low, and then buyers come in. Anyway, this transition is starting to take place. Now, how you can make this transition in the order flow work for you better is by understanding your higher time frame. Do you have reason to be a buyer down in these areas in here? And you do. Okay, this was a gap fill. Typically in gap fills, you find people taking profits. Okay, or maybe a potential reversal or a move back up into the mean somewhere up in here. Right, so now you've got higher time frame context. You've got order flow supporting it as well. Okay, so you can start to look for those things and piece them together, and then put that into your trading plan. That makes sense? All right. You know what we're going to do? Actually, we have another. Let me show you. It's in the Bookmap Marketplace again. We go to, I'm sorry, the Learning Center. Now go to bookmap.com and go to Education here, and then scroll down a little bit, and then here you'll see all these events on the calendar here. This is an event we're going to do later about the futures competition. So this is at 2:30 East Coast time, and we'll get you run you through the connection process, get you up and running, and then we're going to talk about MBO data here. Okay, I'm going to do the same tomorrow, but we saw some good stuff in here, and we covered a lot of different things in here, a lot of good ideas in here. And like I said, I mean, we even kind of called it out earlier that this was pretty powerful and pretty nicely telegraphed in here in the order flow, that we're below the figure 6100. You see massive selling in here on the offer, lots of supply, and we see some selling coming in. We see some back and forth in here, even VWAP. It can't get above VWAP in here. And then we see selling again. We get our move back up, and we see selling again. We're in, reduce risk. We held a runner, etc. Okay. We even took another one in here, and then we took another one in here, which we thought we were going to get stopped out on. We thought maybe we found our buyers at this point, and then maybe we're going to move back up into here. We didn't find enough buyers. The sellers came back in. We got the squeeze lower. We got our gap fill. Now we're starting to see our buyers come back in. Okay, is that making sense? Let me know, especially you new guys over there in our Discord channel or in YouTube. And if you're over in YouTube, I really suggest that you check out our Discord channel. You'll get a lot of good support over there. We have a Bookmap Academy, etc. That you can also find very, very helpful. You can actually get Bookmap for free through that Bookmap Academy. Riyadh, I can show you this about, if there's going to be Bookmap, annual or lifetime. Just go to bookmap.com and click get the deal here. And that'll take you to our deals page in here. You can see Cyber Monday deal here. If you scroll down a bit more, we have an add-ons deal coming up starts in 6 hours. And then we have a New Year's special deal that's in 16 days. All right, so you'll have to wait and see to see what those are. All right. Anyway, you can sign up. You can sign up here, be the first to know, put your email in here if you're interested. All right. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, anyway, I'm gonna leave you with something here. We saw everything in here. I mean, we saw the continuation pattern. We talked about the impulse move, the strong move. We saw it on the higher time frame. We put it together at this bottom edge in here. Why we thought the sellers were going to break it. We took advantage of it, and then we continued to look for the squeeze lower, and then in here, I didn't take it. But we have good reason though on a higher time frame gap fill, and then starting to see the order flow starting to come in these areas in here. Okay, and we did put a limit in, we just didn't get filled here. Okay, so it left us hanging here. Okay, I'm just going to click on it and cancel that order. All right. All right, now we're trading up into high liquidity up in here. This is a great area to take some profit if you're long. Actually, I would look for a bit of a pullback now because we just traded up into high liquidity. Okay? In fact, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to take a quick short here. I'm not looking for much. I know it's counter trend. Well, maybe I can hold off a little bit and trade up into this high liquidity here. Yeah, still finding buyers. Interesting. Okay. Maybe they can trade up into 78, maybe even to 80. Okay, we're going to get some stop runs here starting to hit as well. All right, I'm going to be a seller right along with those guys. All right, I just want to demo this. This is where the buyers met the sellers. Okay, so when we see high liquidity transact, I am looking for a reaction. Now I'm only going to look for a few ticks here. Okay, and I'm already filled. But this is how we're talking about supply and demand, and this is how the markets work. Like typically, when high liquidity transacts, the buyers met the sellers, and you get kind of a move back. Okay. I thought maybe we'd just get it to here. We actually got it down to the bottom of this little swing here. Anyway, and let's see, did it? Yeah, boosted up. So this is working as well. So you might as well connect to the simulated environment here for the competition. Now it's working. This will erase your gains or losses. So, but you can play around with it right now. We'll go over this more later today, and I'll also talk about MBO and how to read stops and icebergs. That'll be at the webinar at 2:30 East Coast time. Okay, later today. We'll see you then. Thanks for coming, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and looking forward to the competition. All right, yeah, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.